All right, everybody, welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're going to be doing a deep dive that it's pretty cool, actually.
Okay.
It's all about how this ancient language, Latin, it helped to shape science as we know it.
Interesting.
And this is coming from a request from one of our listeners who is 7 years old
Okay.
and wants to be a scientist when they grow up. They also love history. So
Yeah.
we thought this would be a great deep dive to kind of show how those two things are actually super connected.
I think so too.
So this deep dive is all about answering this question. Why would learning Latin matter for someone who wants to be a scientist?
That's a good question.
Right.
It is.
Because you think about Latin, you think about like ancient Rome and people wearing togas.
Right.
What does that have to do with, you know,
Yeah.
the modern world
Yeah.
of science?
Well, one of the things that's so fascinating about Latin is that it's kind of like a secret code that's hidden within
The
science.
secret code.
It is. And it can really be a key to unlocking a deeper understanding of how science works and where it came from.
You know what that makes me think of is, it's like if you were a scientist and you were trying to do an experiment and you didn't know Latin, you might be missing some of the clues.
Absolutely.
Right? If you don't know the language
Okay.
that the original scientists were using,
That's right.
you might miss some of the things that they were trying to tell you.
Yeah, I mean, it's really like trying to understand a recipe without knowing what the ingredients are,
Oh,
right?
okay.
You know, you might be able to follow the steps, but you're not going to get the full picture
Yeah.
without understanding the basic building blocks.
It's not just about like dead languages. It's about understanding how the language of science was built.
Absolutely,
See,
and Latin is a huge part of that foundation.
Okay, so give me an example then of like how Latin shows up in science today.
Sure, so let's take the word species.
Okay.
You know, that's a word that scientists use all the time to
Yeah.
talk about different types of animals and plants.
Right.
But that word actually comes from Latin.
It does.
It does.
Huh.
And the Latin word means kind or appearance.
Okay.
So when scientists use the word species, what they're really saying is, this is a group of living things that share similar traits.
Okay, so like lions and tigers are both cats.
Exact.
They're in the same species. They
Yeah.
share similar traits.
Right.
So if I know Latin,
Mm-hmm.
that's going to help me understand what the scientists are talking about.
Absolutely.
Cool.
It can give you a deeper insight into the meaning behind the words.
Okay, well, I'm starting to see how Latin is like a key
Yeah.
to unlocking scientific knowledge.
And there are tons of other examples too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Tell me more.
Like the word data,
Data.
which comes from the Latin word datum,
Okay.
which means something given.
Interesting.
So data is really just information that's been given or collected.
So it's clues that scientists use.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like piecing together a puzzle
Oh, that's cool.
using all these little pieces of information.
So Latin says like, oh, giving us the building blocks. For scientific language?
Yeah, it's providing the foundation for how we talk about and understand the world around us.
And you know what that makes me think of too is like a lot of the old scientific writings were done in Latin.
Oh, absolutely.
So if you know Latin, you can actually go back and read the original writings
That's right.
of these scientists from hundreds of years ago.
You know, it's like having a time machine. That lets you understand their amazing discoveries in their own words.
Yeah, it's like
Think-
you could sit down with them and have a conversation.
Exactly.
just
You can
kind of-
explore their ideas, understand their thought processes, and see how scientific knowledge has evolved over time.
It's a superpower that lets you understand the world around you
It really is.
in a whole new way.
And who knows what other fields might be connected to Latin as well.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe it can help us understand law or government or even art in new and exciting ways.
That's a really cool thought. Like if you know a little bit of Latin,
Hmm.
you might be able to make all sorts of amazing discoveries.
Exactly.
So keep exploring and stay curious. That's what makes a true scientist and a lifelong learner.
I completely agree.
All right, thanks for joining us for the deep dive, everybody. We'll see you next time.